Hello viewers, today is September 8th, 2024. Today I would like to discuss about the US presidential elections 2024. More specifically, I would like to share my opinions and thoughts on the polls that have come out recently. Let's first look at the New York Times Siena poll that has been talked about in the media the whole day today. So according to this poll, Donald Trump has insignificant 1 percentage point lead nationwide. And with respect to all the battleground states, there are some states that Kamala Harris is leading by 1 or 2 percentage points, and there are some states that Donald Trump is leading by 1 or 2 percentage points. But the margin of error in all these polls are between 3 and 4 percentage points. So if you really look at it, this is going to be essentially a tie at this point based on these polls. And as neither one of them has got a clear lead outside the margin of error. So that being the case, this is one such poll, but we have also seen other polls where in the battleground states, Kamala Harris has got probably 2 to 3 percentage points lead in Michigan, Wisconsin. And then Donald Trump has a 2 or 3 percentage points lead in Arizona, North Carolina, and so on. So the trend is very clear that this race is very close, and it's very close both at the national level as well as on the 7 battleground states as well. So I would like to go back and look at it historically and see why the presidential elections in the past few years, basically from the year 2000 onwards, has been very, very close. So let's look at it from a historical perspective. In the year 2000, George W. Bush versus Al Gore. Al Gore won the popular vote, but he lost the presidency. He lost the state of Florida by around 500 odd votes. Everybody knows that. That's an infamous recount battle that went all the way to the Supreme Court. So had he won Florida, he would have been President Gore. Had he won New Hampshire that time, he would have been President Gore. Had he won Tennessee, his home state, he would have been President Gore. So that was not to be. So George W. Bush won the presidency in 2000, but it was a very, very, very close election. And then in 2004, George W. Bush was pitted against John Kerry. And again, this was a very close election. George W. Bush won the national popular vote, but in the state of Ohio, George W. Bush carried Ohio by around 150,000 votes or so. Had Kerry won the state of Ohio, he would have been President Kerry as well. So from a national voting perspective, as well as from the Electoral College, that was also a very close election. Then we go into the 2008 election. This is the one election where the race was not very close, and due to several factors, but I will list them one by one. The first and foremost is the country was going through a financial crisis, and people are looking for a change. They were looking for an alternate candidate. And then the country was also tired of the ongoing wars then in both Iraq and Afghanistan. So the country was tired of the war, the endless war, and so they wanted to vote for a different party. But then the most important point was they had a candidate to vote for, which was Barack Obama. From my view, he was a once-in-a-generation kind of a candidate. So he was completely different from the traditional Democratic candidates as well as from the Republican side. So people saw a fresh face and a change. They wanted to change in direction, and they voted overwhelmingly for Barack Obama. He won by well over 7 percentage points, and in the Electoral College perspective also, he just had a blowout against John McCain. Then in 2012, it was a closer election than the 2008 election. Barack Obama still won. He won the popular vote by around 3.9 percentage points, and he won the Electoral College as well comfortably because he was able to win Florida and Ohio. So again, 2008 and 2012 was basically an outlier to me. Then we go into the 2016 election. 2016 election, it was Hillary versus Donald Trump. Everybody thought that Hillary Clinton is going to be president. In fact, on that election day, before the counting, only one candidate thought that they're going to win, and that was Hillary Clinton. Donald Trump did not think that he is going to win that election. Again, it's a very, very close election. Hillary Clinton won the popular vote, but she lost the key states, the blue wall states of Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, and Michigan. And she lost it by a very few thousand votes in each one of them. And Donald Trump became president. Again, Hillary Clinton won the popular vote, by the way. So in 2020, it was a matchup between Joe Biden versus Donald Trump. Again, here, most of the polls suggested that Joe Biden was going to win very comfortably. And but at the end, this was also a very, very close election. From a national popular vote perspective, I think Joe Biden won by a clear margin. He had a 4.5 percentage point difference. But from an electoral college perspective, he won Wisconsin by around 20,000 odd votes. He won Pennsylvania by around 77,000 odd votes. He won Michigan by a comfortable margin of 150 odd thousand votes. But in addition to those blue wall states, he won Arizona by around 10,000, 11,000 odd votes, and Georgia by 10,000, 11,000 odd votes. So again, it was a very close election from the battleground states perspective. So it's not a surprise now that we see the same kind of pattern repeating here. And the main reasons for this kind of close races on the presidential level is the country is very heavily polarized, and the Democrats think that their policies are the best for the country, and the Republicans think that their policies are the best for the country. And then there is no middle right now. And that is why you get 42 to 44% of the votes, no matter what, from the Republican side, and 42 to 44% of the votes on the Democratic side, no matter what. But there is only one minor change in the sense that Donald Trump is able to get some of the votes in the rural areas that Mitt Romney or John McCain, they were not able to get those votes. So that's very critical. He did increase some of the voting percentages as well as the number of votes for him, for the Republican Party in those rural counties. But he is losing the suburbs. So in a net result, it's kind of a wash. What Mitt Romney could do on the suburbs, Donald Trump is not able to do. But he was able to get more votes on the rural areas. So the Donald Trump's Republican Party is different from John McCain's Republican Party or Mitt Romney's Republican Party or even George W. Bush's Republican Party. But still, he's able to garner good votes from the rural areas. So he's making it very, very close. So you should never underestimate the MAGA movement. Is pretty strong in states such as Pennsylvania, Arizona, Wisconsin, Michigan. So that is why he's still able to keep it very close. When the actual candidate switch happened for the Democrats, they thought that they're going to have an easy election because Joe Biden has dropped out. And now you know that after the initial euphoria, after the initial 2-3 weeks, now the race has stabilized, it has normalized now, and it looks like it's going to be a very tight election moving forward. So both parties are going to contest very heavily on those 7 battleground states, and let's see how things pan out. And that's it for me today. And I'll come back to you with a different episode tomorrow. Till then, take care.